ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां दयाकरं दयाकारं दान्तं धर्मप्रवर्तकं प्रणमामि दयानन्दं मदाचार्यवरं परम् ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवांसस्तनूभिः व्यशेमदेवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Having highlighted the value for speaking the truth, the Upanishad devotes one more mantra to this value from the standpoint of the people who may or may not be interested in Atmajnanam, but they are interested in what? Swarga. And what is the higher than Swarga? Brahmaloka Prapti. So those that are interested in that, also it is pointed out in the following mantra that truth speaking not only benefits you in this life through what? Helping gain Brahmajnanam, but for those who say Brahmajnanam, big deal. I have managed several lifetimes without it. Why should I gain it now? For those who say that, then the Upanishad is talking on the level of lokas. Lokas means what? Various gains after life. Because most of the people are interested in afterlife. Because this life is a washout, write off. Okay, nothing I was able to achieve. At least in the afterlife, let me be happy, healthy, and wonderful. All these, most people are interested in that. If you're not interested in Atmajnanam, definitely you will be interested in what? Afterlife. And people come and say this also. They used to say this to Pujya Swamiji also. Swamiji, I want you to be my guru in my next life. And so, so therefore, this is where the thinking is. This is where the Jivik thinking, this is where the notions are. And so what to do for that? Upanishad gives one more mantra, glorifying, extolling Satyabhashanam as having not only this life effects, but also posthumously it benefits you, because it takes you to what? Various lokas from which there is no return. Brahmaloka, there is no return if one is interested in Brahmajnanam after going to Brahmaloka. You can go to Brahmaloka through what? What takes you to Brahmaloka? Karma and Upasana. These are the two things that take you to Brahmaloka. But then here, what is talked about? Here, the Satyabhashanam, which is a supporting sadhana, is made to be the main sadhana that takes you to Brahmaloka. And so Brahmaloka Prapti is through Satya. This is how it is presented, which is not really true, but it is to extol the virtues of truth telling and being in truth. Since it is a very important value for gaining this knowledge, then to drop all other activities which even have the whiff of hypocrisy, double life, etc., this mantra is presented. And such glorification mantras tend to exaggerate, and this exaggeration is not a lie. That would be interesting irony in the mantra that is talking about truth. What is it doing? Exaggerating. But this exaggeration is a pedagogical tool to make us understand, and it is one of the Shadlingas, the six things by which the Upanishad is recognized. And this, the name for it, the technical name is Arthavada, glorification. So the purpose is there. What is the purpose? Highlighting and glorification are the purposes, and that is called Arthavadaha. And so this mantra is not interested in taking you to lokas. The Upanishad would rather you not go to lokas, and the finitude of the lokas, and how if you keep looking for loka, you go loco, was already discussed where? In the second khanda, talking of the first mundaka, talking about the limitations of aparavidya. And so, loka is what? Paravidya Vishaya or Aparavidya Vishaya? Aparavidya Vishaya. But here in Paravidya also loka is talked about. Why? Only for the sake of not glorifying the loka, but glorifying what? Satya Bhashanam. And people who are Satyavadis. So that, and also because the Satya cannot by itself take you to Satya, cannot do anything. It's just a value. So it is glorifying Satya as a value, and it's glorifying the people who are in Satya, because they can get the highest loka and get what is called krama mukti. If you miss liberation here, then if you do lot of upasana and lot of, what else you have to do? Karma, religious karma, reaching out karma. And then what else? Yajnas, lots of yajnas in the form of karma also. All that you do, half the time you are doing various actions for the sake of Brahmaloka, prescribed actions, and the other half the time sleeping? No, meditating. And then if you do it correctly, perhaps, maybe, might be, you will go to Brahmaloka. There, if you're just having an interested in just a tour, there is a bus. You can just go and say, bus, enough. I'm done. Take a few photos, and then you come back. But here, if the person is interested and has, in addition to karma and upasana, has a value for Satya, what happens to that person? Gets connected with Brahmaji as teacher. Brahmaji is not just sitting chewing gum there. Okay, in Brahmaloka, what is Brahmaji doing? Teaching. and what will he be teaching? Tell me. Yeah, Brahma Vidya. Which Upanishad? Mundaka Upanishad. Okay, that is what he's teaching. And therefore, going there, if one gets connected to Brahmaji as the teacher, and then after that, what? One studies, then one becomes free in Brahmaloka. That kind of mukti is what is called Krama Mukti, and that Krama Mukti is highlighted here because only karma and upasana may give you a little tour of Brahmaloka. But here what is happening? How to free yourself if you want after going to Brahmaloka, then the Satya, the value for Satya Bhashanam alone will take you there. That is the idea. Let us chant this mantra. Satyameva jayate nanritam. सत्येन पन्था विततो देवयानः येनाक्रमन्त्य ऋषयो ह्याप्तकामाः यत्र तत्सत्यस्य परन्निधानम् This is, Satyameva Jayate. What is that? That is the national motto. Satyameva Jayate. And it's in the emblem of that four lions. When you see the emblem of the government of India, so then you see that four lions, and underneath Satyameva Jayate. So Jayate is Chandasam. Why? Because G, the verb, when it is only when it is what is that? Preceded by V and Para, it becomes Atmanepada. Otherwise, what? Jayati. Okay. So here, does it have the upasargas of V or Para? No. So therefore, Jagate Chandasam construction. So it is Vedic license, Vedic poetic license, Chandasam. And so Satyameva Jagate na Anritam. Falsehood does not win, truth wins. Nice try. I have been in truth, and I have been what? Buried to the ground by all the people who are only given to falsehood. You look at the court cases, you look at everything. What appears to be winning? Falsehood appears to be winning. You look at governments, who appears to be getting away with all kinds of corruption, etc. All the leaders, not only in India, okay, everywhere it's the same. See, the corruption at the level of a petty thief is petty corruption. At the level of government is what? Huge corruption. Brahman size corruption is there everywhere in all the countries, more or less. This is a terrible thing, because power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And so, like this, there is the appearance that Anritam only wins, but Anritam is not winning. Why? Because the person who is practicing Anritam, falsehood, is tormented in three ways. What are the three ways? First, there is that terrible conflict inside. Even if the conscience is completely shut down, that conflict will come up even for the most hardened offender. It will come out. Why? When something happens to them, when they fall sick or their loved one falls sick, definitely that feeling will be there. Look at what all I have done. Even if they don't believe in karma, they will say, well, this was due to me. Look at how I have acted. So what to talk of normal people? And so this is the inner torment, the conflict, and all this is the first level. That's why many offenders, when they are put in prison, they have to do a suicide watch. Because of that conflict, they can just hang themselves with a bed sheet or whatever is available. They can just kill themselves. So they have to keep them on suicide watch because of this conflict. So that itself is a terrible instant karma phala, in that instant torment. So they are in three ways they are affected. So one is that. Second is through the state. The state, if one is caught, if the fellow is caught, the state will say, these are your offenses, and for this we don't have to even think up everything. It's already there in the law books that if you do this, 5 years of rigorous imprisonment. It's already given. That's the second form of torment, because who wants to go to prison? No one wants to lose their freedom and be deemed. Prison means what? You are deemed as a danger to the society. That's why one is put away. So therefore, nobody wants to go to prison and lose their freedom and make people afraid of them. And so, but that is the second effect. The state and the laws of the country get the person. And what is the third effect? Even if the person escapes the first two, the person's conscience is buried under all the raga dveshas and all the problems, doesn't feel guilty, doesn't feel torment, and then is a very slick operator, doesn't get caught by the state. Then the third one is avashyam bhavi. Even if one escapes the first two, the third torment one cannot escape. What is that? Karmic torment. Karma. And we don't see that because sometimes they have enough punya to coast through this life. Even though one is doing bad things, one has enough punya to coast through this life. And then what else? One comes back, and when one comes back, that torment is seen, but we are not there when that person comes back. So we just have a short understanding of life, 50 years, 60 years, even 100 years if you take. That's very short in front of Karma Devata Chitragupta. In front of Chitragupta, this is nothing. 50 years, 100 years, even if one were to live 200 years like a turtle or whatever, but still it is nothing. This is nothing from Bhagavan's standpoint. This is just a small little blip in time. And so the third torment you cannot escape. At least in the second kind of a punishment by the state, the judge can have some clemency. Let's say the person is caught for two different offenses. First offense, as we saw, 5 years rigorous imprisonment. Second offense, 3 years rigorous imprisonment. And then, so total should be what? 8 years. But the judge can say both the sentences will run how? Concurrently. And so the person is imprisoned only for 5 years. Not so in karma. Each and everything. That's why he's called Chitragupta. Gupta means the hidden, the hidden one. Means your own reckoning, karmic reckoning is hidden from you. And so what is happening here? You are at the mercy. There is no concurrent. It's after all the same bad karma. Let us combine the things together and only for 3 years let's give this person. No. That's why there are varieties of karma phala waiting to fructify. And so therefore this is a very interesting mantra for this. So Satyameva Jayate na Anritam. So Anritam in the end does not win. I'm saying in the end, for those people who doubt that Anritam only wins. So in the end it does not win. Further, this afterlife business is talked about. So Devayanaha means the divine chariot, the vehicle of the gods. This is all very poetic. And there also is I think there is a, what is that called? Middle pada lopa samasa, madhyama pada lopa samasa. What is that? Devaloka prapti yana. So that yana, vehicle. Devayana should be understood as Devaloka Prapti Yanaha. So the vehicle that takes you to Devaloka, the vehicle by which you go to Devaloka. Devaloka here, it doesn't specify Brahmaloka, but because of what comes later, we see it as what? Brahmaloka. Satyaloka also it is called. And so, no, Satya, is that Satyaloka, Brahmaloka? Yeah, one and the same. Satyaloka, Brahmaloka. So, in a way, it is called Satyaloka. Why? Because it is gained through Satyam, Satyaloka, or where Satyam Brahma presides or is there. In what way? As Nirguna Atmajnanam. In the form of Atmajnanam it is there. So therefore also Satyaloka. So this Devayanaha, this celestial chariot, Devaloka Praptiyanaha, taking you to Brahmaloka. What is that? It is, the chariot is the road, because all of them are in first case. Okay. So even though poetically it should be the chariot is traveling on the road, or the road which is belonging to the chariot, something like that, but still the chariot and the road are delightfully combined. So the chariot itself is this spread out road, vistirna gatihi. So this spread out road which is panthaha. So panthaha singular, masculine, nakaranta, like atma, atman, atma. and pathin, pantha, panthaha. And so this road is spread out. And what is this road? Devayanaha. And this road itself is like a celestial chariot that that has a one-way ticket, hopefully, to Brahmaloka. If you are in Satyam, it has a one-way ticket to Brahmaloka. And then Satyena, this panthaha, Satyena vitataha, vistirnaha. Tan, eighth conjugation, tanoti, tanute, and then past passive participle is tataha. Tan, to spread. Tataha, spread out. In other words, the stones of this path are paved by truth telling. Each brick on this path, each stone on the path, like the path behind the ashram. So, what is that path? Little cobblestones are there. So, imagine each stone as truth telling. So, truth telling is what the path is. So, Satyena panthaha vitataha is paved. Literally, it is paved with what is that, and that itself becomes either it becomes the road for the chariot to travel on, or the chariot itself is one with the road. Doesn't matter. Very poetically expressed. So, yena, by which, and also we have to think of it, visualize it as an uphill road because of what is going to come next. Yena akramanti. Yena akramanti. Akramanti, go upwards, ascend. So, yena akramanti, by which they ascend. Who? Rishayaha, the knowing ones. Who are they? Aptakamaha. Aptakamaha. Kamaha, aptaha yena, by whom all the desires are fulfilled. Meaning what? Akamaha. And the word aptakama, very beautiful, is used by Gaudapadacharya in the 9th verse of the first chapter of the 9th verse of the commentary to the Mandukya Upanishad. Aptakamasya ka spriha. He says, talking about Ishvara. Ishvara is Aptakama. He's talking about the Srishti. So the Jagat, the Srishti Chintakas, what do they say? People who are committed to the Jagat say, Bhagavan created this Jagat because Bhagavan was bored. First option. Second option, Bhagavan created this Jagat for me to gain my karma phalas and my desires. Second option. And third option, Bhagavan wanted some leela, wanted to play. So this whole Jagat is because of the leela of Bhagavan. Like this, many things are posited. Dismissing all of them, he says at the end of that thing, what does he say? Aptakamasya ka spriha. So if this Jagat is a desire, is brought about because of the desire of Bhagavan, then Bhagavan becomes what? Anaptakama. Anaptakama. So it doesn't become aptakama. Apta means gained. For whom all the desires are gained means a fulfilled person. So Bhagavan doesn't become a fulfilled person at all. So therefore here aptakamaha means akamaha. So these rishayaha, rishati, janati iti. So Rishati means the ones who know. The Jnanis walk on this path. Jnanis means very close to Jnanis. Sadhakas also who can say who are well prepared for Brahman but got distracted to go to Brahmaloka instead. But still they are much better than many than the whole world put together, whole world of people. Why? Because they have practiced Satya Bhashanam. In addition to all their karmas, they are Vaidikas, they are very prepared, and then they go to this loka. This is how they travel. They travel through this celestial chariot, and then these are the because of the karma and upasana, they have grown. They are emotionally mature to not desire anything. And where do they go? Yatra tat satyasya param nidhanam. So so here Satya is Satyaloka. This Satyalokasya, Satyaloka in the form of what? Param Nidhanam. Nidhanam means the ultimate abode. What kind of abode? From which there is no return. Nidhanam also means treasure. Treasure. Because this is all very poetic. Now I am going on a celestial chariot on the road paved with Satya stones, nice stones made of Satya Bhashanam. And then what else? Of course, there should be a nice loka to go to, and that should be also put in a flowery way, which is the highest and the best treasure. What is the best treasure? Atma Vidya. And where do you need to go to get that? Swami Dayananda Ashram. So nowhere you need to go. Nowhere you need to go. Because all going, coming is dismantled because of which? Why? Because that Atma which you want to gain happens to be you. So there is no going, no coming, and the truth of that is also what? Agamanam, there is no going. There is no going, there is no ascending, there is no descent, nothing. And so these is very poetic. These rishis ascending uphill on the celestial chariot and going to the place where a big treasure is kept. This is what? This is just to attract people not to Brahmaloka, but to what? Satya Bhashanam, truth speaking. That is the only idea. Bhashya. Satyadi sadhanam stutyartha ayam arthavadaha. So ayam arthavadaha, this mantra has got the status of being arthavada. Arthavada, glorification for the purpose of what? For the purpose of highlighting a particular value in this case. Arthavadaha. So Satyadi, Adipadat, we have to bring in everything we learnt in the last mantra. What is that? Satyena, Tapasa, Brahmacharyena, all this we have to bring in. Satyadi, Sadhana, Stutyartham. This is for the sake of praising all this. And then what does it say? Satyam. You just follow along. I'm going to read this way. We can save a little bit of time because there is a lot to cover. Okay. Satyameva, Satyavan eva jayate jayati. Okay. Satyameva jayate. That was the moolam. Satyameva jayate means Satya alone wins. Jagate, as I told you, has to be converted to what? Jayati. Quietly he does that. And then truth alone wins. Truth cannot win. Is truth a conscious being? No, it's a value. So we have to displace, it's a kind of a displacement here. So Vachyartha will not work. So Anritam na jayati, Satyam jayati. Both of them are what? Truth wins, falsehood does not win. That means what? Truth speaker wins. Falsehood speaker does not win. This is how. So the Vachyartha is direct meaning of the word does not apply here. Truth speaker does not. So truth speaker is intended where you have truth wins. We have to add truth speaker wins. So the Vachyartha is what? Truth wins. How can truth win? It's just a value. So the one who is the dharmi, now dharma cannot win, dharmi wins. The one who has the dharma of truth, satyavadin, that person wins. Anritavadin does not win. So we have to, since the Vachyartha, the direct meaning of the words in the first line do not apply, what do we have to go for? Lakshyartha, implied meaning. The implied meaning of the words have to be resorted to at all times when the direct meaning does not apply. Direct meaning doesn't make any sense, so the implied meaning or the indirect meaning has to be taken, which makes this lakshana vakya. Satyameva jayate nanritam is a lakshana vakya. What kind of lakshana is applied here? Ajahat lakshana. Ajahat means where nothing is given up. Do we give up Satya? No. Do we give up Anrita? No. But we bring in Vadin, speaker, practitioner. So the practitioner of truth wins and the practitioner of untruth fails, does not win, fails to win. And so this is a Lakshana Vakya. And so therefore, and then he goes further, na anritam, na anritavadi ityarthaha. He explains Satyavan and Anritavadi. He adds van to the first one and vadin to the other one. So both, so both talk about the practitioner. And then nahi satyanritayoho kevalayoho purusha anashritayoho jayah parajayo va sambhavati. Then again, when writing Bhashya, that's why nobody attempts to write Bhashya because of this reason. When writing Bhashya, we should not bring in anything else other than what the Shruti says, unless you justify, or you should not eat up the words of the Shruti unless you justify. So, what is that? So, the Ashruta. Ashruta means that which is not in the Shruti. No addition should be done without justifying it. And then Shrutahani, the swallowing up or the glossing over of something that is there in the Shruti must not be done unless it is warranted and justified. So, he justifies it by saying a very simple thing. Satyanritayoho, for truth and falsehood, Kevalayoho, by themselves. Purusha, by themselves means what? Purusha anashritayoho, not being connected to the person. Here don't say Purusha, Sarvam Purayati, Bhagavan. No, just individual person. Okay? Purusha means person. So disconnected from the person, Kevala Satyanritayoho, only for Satya and Anritam, disconnected from the person, there is no Vijaya or Parajaya possible. There is no victory or defeat possible. Satya doesn't go to a court of law and declare itself victorious. No, because Satya and Anrita are what? They are values. And they are jada. And so the jada is always, the jada vastu is always dependent on what? Chetana vastu. And who is Chetana here? Purusha. Purusha alone. It's centered on the sentient being. Satya and Anrita, for truth and falsehood, are centered on the Ashrita, means centered here. They are centered on the sentient being because by themselves they can neither be victorious nor be defeated. Prasiddham loke. No, I'll say it by myself. Prasiddham. Now that tone is dangerous because everybody will start replying. Prasiddham loke satyavadina anritavadi abhibhuyate. Let's catch hold of the verb. Abhibhuyate is overpowered. Who is overpowered? So anritavadi abhibhuyate. The falsehood person, the person who attaches to falsehood, the person who speaks falsehood, who is committed to a life of falsehood, is overpowered. How? By whom? Satyavadina. By the truth speaker, by one committed to truth. The untruthful person is always overpowered. Prasiddham loke. This is true in the world. This is well known in the world. Because we know this. Somehow or the other, the person is caught. And that's why we love these stories. 50 years the person escaped law. Okay. At 30 years, the fellow had committed a crime. And then 50 years, he just escaped everything, changed his name, went from state to state to state, and then finally was nabbed for the murder he had committed 50 years ago. Somehow, somewhere it will catch up. And even if one says, no, 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 Amrita will always overpower Satya, that is because one is disappointed. That's all it is. And that is because one doesn't live long enough to see karma in action. That is, we already talked about this. So, na viparyayaha, not the opposite, never the opposite, even in Kali Yuga. The wait is long, but the Satya can never be overpowered by what? Untruth. And then, ataha siddham satyasya balavat sadhanatvam. Satyasya balavat sadhanatvam ataha siddham. The forceful nature of the sadhana of Satya is hereby proven. Ataha siddham. It is proven. It is evident. What is evident? Satyasya sadhanatvam. The importance of the Satya means Satya Bhashanam as a sadhana. What kind of sadhana? Balavat sadhanatvam. Balavat chatat sadhanatvam. So that's what it is. So it is balavat and it is sadhana karma dharaya. So it is a sadhana which is in the form of a strong sadhana, a forceful sadhana, which always outlives untruth, which always is victorious. किंच शास्त्रतः अपि डोंट या ओके शास्त्रतः अपि अवगम्यते सत्यस्य साधन अतिशयत्वम् सत्यस्य साधन अतिशयत्वम् अतिशयत्वम् is the uniqueness, is the highlighting of the sadhana called Satya Bhashanam is furthermore, kincha, furthermore, shastratah api avagamyate. Even from the Shastra, it is understood. Even from the Shastra, not only loke prasiddham, not only is it laukika jnanam. Laukika jnanam means what? Worldly knowledge. That truth is always victorious. Truth speaking is victorious over the person who speaks or is committed to a life of falsehood. So, this is understood how prasiddham loke. But if people want, where is the Shastra's stamp on this? Where does the Shruti say this? The Shruti also adheres to the same proof by displaying sadhana atishayatvam of Satya Bhashanam. How? Katham? सत्येन यथाभूतवादव्यवस्थया पन्थाः देवयान आख्यः विततः विस्तीर्णः. So where does the Shruti highlight this? Right here in this particular mantra. In this particular shloka, this is highlighted. This is the Shruti giving proof. So satyena means what? Yatha bhuta vada vyavastha is satyam here. Tena yatha bhuta vada vyavastha. Yatha bhutam means exactly how it is. Vada vyavastha, the arrangement of the speech. The arrangement of the speech, what you talk must be in keeping with what something exactly how it is. That is called Satya Bhashanam. Not even a little bit of moving away from exactly what it is. This is what is called Satya Bhashanam. And so he explains that further. And what is that? That becomes the Pantha. And he takes everything in the first, since everything is in the first case, he takes the chariot also to be the same as the road. Because Panthaha, first case. Devayanaha, first case. Vitataha, first case. And so the Panthaha, the road, which is in the form of the Devayana Akhya Pantha. So that which is called, Akhya means called, that which is known as Devayana that which is known as the celestial chariot or the road, same as the road, which is vistirnaha, spread out, spread out. And spread out means as long as you can see, especially if you can see the road far away, you see the cobblestones here, you see the cobblestones also there, and each cobblestone is paved with satya, truthfulness, practiced truthfulness. It is paved with satya bhashanam. So it is vistirna, it is spread out. And Adi Shankara explains vitataha very beautifully. Satatyena pravrittaha. Satatasya bhavam satatyam shanj. And so abstract noun called forever, satatam, constantly, all the time, satatam, all the time, continuously, pravrittaha. Pravrittaha means is in operation. Why? Because as long as the world exists, there will be human jivas. Yes or no? Yes. As long as there will be human jivas, there will be the desire for liberation. Yes or no? Yes. And as long as there is desire for liberation, there will be adhikaritvam. Yes or no? Yes. And this adhikaritvam by itself can't do anything. So one has to become an adhikari. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. And so after one becomes an adhikari, what is highlighted here? Satya bhashanam. Yes or no? Yes. So as long as there are mumukshus, as long as there are jignasus, there will always be the highlighting of the practice of truth. And therefore this devayanaha, this road and this celestial chariot, satatyena pravrittaha, will be there all the time. Very nice explanation. So satatyena pravrittaha. I lost it here. Yeah, here. Yena panthahi akramanti. Akramanti, kramante. Why akramanti is converted to kramante? One more condition is there. Ang, when ang comes in the form the prefix a comes in the form of the meaning of ascent, udgamanam. Angaha udgamane sutra. And then, so then the verb kram takes atmanepada. So akramanti should be converted to kramante, akramante. Okay, so that's all it is. And so kramanti is there, is what? Chandasam. So he converts that into kramante. And then, so yena patha, by which road these people go upwards. Upwards in terms of not direction. Ascent is in terms of what? From the lower lokas to higher lokas in terms of comfort, in terms of all these other ways, not directionally. So that is also upalakshana, lakshartha only. So akramante means ascend. Who ascends, so to speak? Rishayaha, darshanavantaha. Darshanavantaha means who have foresight, who know in advance that if I practice the truth, I will have a better gati, who already know, who are not just there just to bide their life and let the years go by. And highlighting the Satya Bhashanam, Adi Shankara gives a beautiful bhashya here. Kuhaka, Maya, Shatya, Ahankara, Dambha, Anrita, Varjitaha hi aptakamaha. So Rishayaha akramante. Who are they? Aptakamaha. And aptakamaha is darshanavantaha, the people who have foresight. And who are the people who have foresight? The people who have foresight are as follows. Varjitaha, free of. What are they free of? Kuhaka, paravanchanam. Paravanchanam means defrauding others, crookedness. So, Maya. Maya means inside one presentation, outside another presentation. Double life who lead here. Maya is not Maya Shakti here. Maya is people who lead double life. Anyatha Prakashanam, meaning presenting oneself as not like one is. And then Shatha means a crook, thief. Shatyam is what? the one who is crooked. But the kuhaka also means crooked. Shatya also means crookedness. There will be a double meaning. So Tikakara gives another meaning. Vibhava anusarena apradanam means the person who is miserly. Miserly means what? Does not open the purse strings. Is very rich, but will not even will not even waste a drop of tea attached to the fly which fell in the cup. Okay, yes. so so this is what it is called. All right, so will not even, and this is the North Indian understanding of this shatyam, this particular meaning. South Indian understanding is what? The person is eating and the crow comes hopeful of a few crumbs, and the person is very hesitant to shoo away the crow because 2-3 grains of rice might go there. So the person is in a great quandary. So shatyam means the person who fools themselves primarily, who robs oneself of all their wealth. Why? By repeatedly declaring, I am poor. That is shatyam according to Anandagiri. And then what? Ahankarah, mithya abhimanah, ahankarah. Mithya abhimanah means what? The useless pride, useless identification with the ahankara, etc. Useless pride is called what? Mithya, mrisha, abhimanah, false pride. And then again, dambha. So, dharma dvajitvam, flying the flag of your own greatness. Dharmadvaja, I am the greatest, east or west. Look, 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 I have helped people here. Look, look, look. Did you see that 25 times in the last half an hour I have told the truth? Look, look, look. Self-advertisement, self-publicity, the one who does. So that is called dambha. And then what else is the last one? Anrita. Drishta viruddha bhashanam. Anrita means simply telling false things. So how many things? So to be a rishi in Adi Shankara's definition is not easy because one has to be away from crookedness, hypocrisy, double presentation, and one has to be a giver, and then one has to be free of what is that, puffed up ego, self-publicity, and falsehood. Then only one is well on the path to becoming aptakamaha, which means what? That all these things are for people who have a lack centered on the self. That is why one lies. That is why there is double presentation. That is why there is dambha, presentation of something you don't have. All these things are there because of the lack. But here the rishis have foresights. They have darshan. They are darshanavantaha. And so ahankara dambha anrita varjitaha, and then aptakamaha vigata trishnaha sarvataha. All round they are free of cravings and longings. So aptakamaha is what? Akamaha. And then elsewhere it is said atmakamaha aptakamaha. Atmakamaha hi aptakamaha. So the one who is aptakama, for whom all the desires have been fulfilled, is the one who is the lover of Atma. So only focuses on that craving to know the I, and thereby lets go of everything else. It's that time of the class. Very punctual, it's just, you have to love this. Bhagavan, okay? I'm not stopping, all right, because we have a lot to cover. So I'm going to go on. Am I talking loud enough to be audible? Yes? Okay. Otherwise, please come a little further. Sit in the front of the class if you want to hear better. Okay, then dambhamana varjitaha vigata trishnaha iti sarvataha yatra yasmin tat paramartha tattvam satyasya uttama sadhanasya sambandhi sadhyam param prakrishtam nidhanam purushartharupena nidhiyate iti nidhanam vartate. Yatra means in which loka here. So, in which loka, one meaning, direct meaning if we take according to the heavenly chariot and all those things, direct meaning is in that loka. And the lakshana, the indirect implied meaning is yasmin brahmani, in which Brahman. Then what is that? That tat paramartha tattvam. Paramartha tattvam. Paramartha tattvam is that Atma, which is the ultimate goal. So that is the ultimate goal, that Atma Tattva, that understanding of the self, which is the ultimate goal. And which is connected to Sambandhi Uttama Sadhanasya Sadhyam. So it is Sambandha Shashti. So no need to really look into it too much. So Uttama Sadhanasya Sadhyam, which is presented here as the end of the, which is presented here as the Satya Sadhanasya Sadhyam. It is presented as the goal of this very exalted sadhana called Satyam. Satya sadhanasya sadhyam, the goal. What is that? Paramam. It is the ultimate. Going there is no more goal. No other goal is needed. The ultimate goal, which is the truth of oneself, which is Nidhanam, which is Prakrishtam, most exalted, Nidhanam, most exalted treasure. What is that treasure? Moksha. That is why it is called Purushartha Rupena Nidhiyate. That treasure is called moksha because it is gained through the free will. It is gained through the free will. I have to desire this moksha. Moksha is not my prarabdha. Prarabdha means what? That which is evident through whatever this life has to unfold. That is karma, karma phala. Moksha is not karma phala. Karma phala cannot give moksha. I have to desire to be free. So the free will, because of which I take to this path of Satya Bhashanam and Atmajnanam, etc., is called Purushartha. So then, because of this Purushartha alone, so Purushartha Rupena Nidhiyate, which is Itham Bhute Tritiya, so that which is evident in the form of this Purushartha alone, that is why it is called Nidhana Rupena Vartate. It is in the form of a treasure. Tatra cha yena patha akramanti saha satyena vitataha iti purvena sambandhaha. So param nidhanam. And what is this nidhanam for? The nidhanam is for the people who are well prepared to go on this path to gain this moksha. So this is to gain this moksha. So that is all it is. Purvena sambandha means please connect it with what went before. The description of the heavenly chariot, etc. So now the heavenly chariot, etc. becomes what? Becomes just a arthavada. Arthavada means just a glorification of Satya Bhashanam as a very important value, because of which you can even go to Brahmaloka, but then you can clinch your Purushartha and not come back. You need not come back. You can go to Brahmaloka and gain this knowledge. And that Satya, there is what? Nirgunam Brahma. So Nirguna Brahma Upadeshat, from Brahmaji, you can do that. That is what is talked about. That is it. I think we have finished that, yes. And then the next mantra is a recovery process. Why is it a recovery process? Because the Upanishad cannot just let you go thinking that there is a heavenly chariot. People will take this literally. And that there is Brahmaloka, that I am driving nicely. Somebody, Chitragupta is driving. I am nicely sitting. Why? This is my reward. I have told the truth all my life. This is my reward. And Brahman will be available at the end of the journey, paved with the stones of truth speaking. No. It cannot let us go away. That's why I'm also not letting you go away. So therefore, the Upanishad immediately has to, this is a typical way. The pedagogy of the Upanishad is such that it sets up something and then immediately dismantles that, so that one doesn't know whether one is coming or going, whether one is ascending or descending. It is very nicely mysterious. Why? Because we don't need this kind of either unidirectional thinking or bidirectional thinking. This or this. This is how the mind thinks. We have black and white thinking, some more than others. And when the black and white thinking becomes extreme, it is a form of disorder. It is a mental health issue. It's a personality disorder. So the black and white thinking means either somebody is very, 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 very good, and then or they are very, 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 very bad. Either something is fantastic or it should not even exist. It is terrible. And then what's wrong with this thinking? Because it is not in keeping with the Shastra, it is not in keeping with the vision, the Shastric vision. And the second problem with that is that one is constantly ping-ponging from Shobhana Adhyasa to what? Ashobhana Adhyasa. Shobhana Adhyasa means a hyperbole type glorification of a person, thing, etc., giving it more value than it has. And then Ashobhana Adhyasa means what? Going away from or dismantling that completely. Again, there is a personal bias. In both those places, there are personal biases. So this black and white thinking, everybody has it in a garden variety, mild rupa. Mild form of black and white thinking is there for everybody, and that also is a problem for this vision. So therefore, this either or thinking, or what is called black and white thinking, something is very, very good, something is very, very bad, this notion has to be in this way only, or something has to be in this way only, that all has to be dismantled by this unique pedagogy. And sometimes the pedagogy is called, what is that? Adhyaropa apavada. But here it's not exactly adhyaropa apavada. In a way, it is not letting us get away with the idea. What is the idea? That there is this heavenly chariot. Even in English, somehow this chariot is very dear to everyone. In English also there is one song. How does that go? Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. So there also all these hyperboles have to go. So kim dharmakam, what is this Brahman which is gained? And Adi Shankara connects it beautifully. What is this Brahman which is gained by Satyabhashanam? That is what is the subject matter of this mantra. Even though it is hot, let us chant. Brihatta brihaccha tad divyamachintya rupam. सूक्ष्माच्च तत् सूक्ष्मतरं विभाति दूरात् सुदूरे तदिहान्तिके च दूरात् सुदूरे तदिहान्तिके च पश्यत्स्विहैव निहितं गुहायाम्. So all kinds of dual thinking, all kinds of, the thinking Brahman is this only and not that, is nicely shaken up. And the jiva, the one who is committed to all kinds of notions, he doesn't know where the person is looking. Completely overturned. All the notions are overturned. So then, what is this Kim Dharmakam? Brahma. What is this? What are the how to understand this Brahman? What does it have? How do I recognize this Brahman? What are the lakshanas? What are the indicators by which this Brahman should be recognized? Is the subject matter of this mantra. And what does it say? Brihat. Brihat is the origin of the word Brahman only. Brihat means what? Limitlessly big. Sixth conjugation. Brahmati. Brihat. Brihat is what is that called? Shatru Pratyaya, Brihat, and means big, 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 limitlessly big. And then Brihat, and then how Brihat, how big? Achintya Rupam, incomprehensibly, unimaginably big. And what is that? Limitlessly big. Yeah, open this window, Gangadhar. Open that window so that little cross ventilation is there. Yeah, um, so Brihat Rupam, how big? If you ask, the very next thing, what does it say? Limitlessly big, huge, limitlessly huge, whose limits we cannot conceive of at all. Inconceivably big. And because it is not a concept, that's why I cannot conceptualize Brahman. It's not a concept, it is myself alone. Okay, how to look for something so big? And then that is completely made to stand on its head. Sukshmat cha tat sukshmataram vibhati. Vibhati is evident, avagamyate, is evident, shines, is present as what? The smaller than the smallest, the subtler than the subtlest. This has a direct reference to which mantra in the Kathopanishad? Yeah, very nice. Anoho aniyan mahato mahiyan atma asya jantoho nihitam guhayam. Same thing here also. Nihitam guhayam. Exactly the same. Last line. So pashyatsu. The word jantoho is converted to pashyatsu. So sukshmat chatat sukshmataram vibhati. And then what else? Now in terms of space. First size, then space. Durat sudure. Farther than the farthest. What is the farthest thing that we can think of? A recent planet that has been discovered by the James Webb Telescope. Very far. And is it a star? Is it a planet? Nobody knows. They are still looking into it. And then they say it is this many light years away. That also what? Is included in Brahman or outside of Brahman? Included. Nothing can be outside of Brahman. So, durat sudure, even the farthest thing is not as far as Brahman in a way. So, Brahman, it's included in Brahman. Tat, that Brahman, iha antikecha, that which is very proximal to me. In fact, it is myself alone. That which is farther than the farthest and closer than the closest. What is closest? Myself. It is closer than this body mind sense complex because it is that which informs this body mind sense complex and which indwells this body mind sense complex. So that is what it is. And then pashyatsu. So we already saw pashyaha. Yada pashyaf pashyate rukma varnam kartaram isham Purusham Brahmayonim, we saw that. And so this Pashyatsu, seventh case, plural, Pashyatsu. So two meanings Adi Shankara gives. One is what? Just regular people. Pashyatsu, conscious people, sentient beings. In all sentient beings, Nihitam Guhayam. It is there in the very cave of the heart. Cave of the buddhi, cave of the mind, cave of the heart is all one and the same. Okay? So don't think buddhi is brain and heart is somewhere else. No, buddhi is where the heart is. The heart of the matter, I. When I say I don't say, who did this? Nobody says I. Yeah. What do you say? I. You only say I because, oh no, I did this. That's a different thing. Buddhi is here. I is here. Everyone, this is universal. Doesn't mean that, oh, I am from Antarctica, so I say I. I am from China, so I say I. I am in my knees. Nobody says I am in my knees, I am in my toes. Heart. Always heart. Universal. Without studying Vedanta also, we say I. So, Guha is here. Nihitam. Nihitam means what? Placed. Is there. Placed means not location, placed in the form of availability. Is available, is manifest, is available for understanding as I, nihitam where? Guhayam, in the heart, for all the beings. Ihaiva, right here where the person is, Brahman is available. And even when I say Brahman is available, I say that because Brahman is available, I am able to say Brahman is available. Okay, and so therefore we have to see this very clearly. That's the first meaning. And then if we take Pashyaha as Jnani, Pashyatsu, for all the Jnanis, they see it as the truth of themselves. For everybody else, it is still there, Guhayam Nihitam Eva, but they don't see. Two meanings Adi Shankara gives. Okay, yeah, more we'll see when in the next class we will see that. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.